Joining me today is Hummingbird Resources. I have Dan Betts, CEO, and Anthony Kocken, COO. The pair will be touching on the company's recent announcement in regard to the development of the Kouroussa gold mine in Guinea. Thanks for joining me today, guys.
Thanks, Fran.
Now, before we get into the project, there's been a lot of news recently about government changes in Guinea. Can you just give us a brief update about this and how does it impact the project, if it does?
Okay, Fran, I'll take that one. On September the 5th, there was a military coup d'etat in Guinea, and obviously this has made news and is a significant event. So we've been very mindful to follow it closely. But the new regime has been very, very clear and very explicit that they want to honor and respect all mining conventions, and they want to support all continued investment in the mining sector. And being that this is probably the first significant investment in Guinea post that coup, it's a significant event for them to show their support and their endorsement of that statement. Our banking partner, Coris Bank, has been very committed and unfazed by the events, which is a very positive event, and they're well known in country. And obviously our team have had significant number of meetings with the new government and the military leaders. I personally haven't met them yet, but I'm looking forward to doing so. But I think the environment in Guinea will be very supportive of building a new mine. And I think Guinea itself is probably one of the most prospective countries for finding significant gold deposits, and we can talk about that later. But I think this is probably the birth of a gold mining industry in Guinea, and we're very happy to be a part of it.
Dan, could you touch on some of the key highlights of the project and its returns before we go into other details?
Yes, we bought the Kouroussa project last year in September 2020, and at the time had a significant drill database and a resource of 1.18 million ounces of gold. Since then, we've done 16,000 meters of a 24,000 meter infill drilling campaign to upgrade those resources. And we've obviously been working hard to put together all the engineering studies and necessary work to commence construction and finalize the economics on the project. The announcement this morning really gives an overview of all that work, the timelines and the economics of the project. And to summarize it for you, and we can go into more detail, Kouroussa will be a high-grade, high-margin gold mine. And what that means is that, and this is what really attracted us to the project in the first case, is the grade of the resource is very high at over 3 grams a ton, and the exploration potential is huge. So initially, the mine life for the project will be 7 years, and the first 3 years of that will be producing between 120 to 140,000 ounces of gold a year. Both of those are significantly better than what we thought when we bought the project. The AISC for the life of mine on Kouroussa will be between $900 and $1,000 an ounce, which is a low-cost producer. And as I said before, I think the regional exploration potential is really significant, as highlighted by recent discoveries with predictive and all the rest of it. In terms of the project economics, if you take today's gold price of $1,750, which, being that we are commencing the construction of this project right now, is probably the most realistic gold price to give you a realistic understanding of the economics. The IRR on the project is an outstanding 71%. The NPV's $210 million, and the cumulative cash flow for the project over the life of mine is $315 million US. And as I say, that's before any upside and any exploration is done. This means that the CAPEX payback is only 2 years. So the economics are really outstanding.
And just touching on finances, I know Hummingbird secured a $100 million group financing package from Coris Bank International, which will, of course, enable the company to fully fund the project, along with internal cash flows into production. Could you give us some more details on this?
Yeah, sure. So Coris Bank is a regional West African bank. It's headquartered in Burkina Faso, and they've been our partner for a number of years now. They provided the project finance for Yamfilila and the expansion finance for the second ball mill at Yamfilila. And over the last few years, we've had an extremely constructive, positive, open relationship with Coris that has been mutually beneficial. We've paid back all of the debt, all of the interest we borrowed from them, and they have been with us shoulder to shoulder through those years. So, I'd like to personally thank all the leadership of Coris for working with us and for signing the term sheet for the loan for Kouroussa. This is a pioneering debt facility for an African bank to provide $100 million loan facility to build a new mine in Guinea is a significant economic event in the region. And all credit to Chorus for standing by us to do this. In terms of the terms of the loan, it's $100 million facility, but it's split into 3 tranches that will be drawn, broadly speaking, when required. But the initial $40 million draw will happen imminently to enable us to start construction, which we are ready to do immediately. And Anthony can talk more about that. The interest rate is 8.5% over the term of the loan, which is 4 years, with an 18-month interest-only holiday at the start of the loan period. And the 18-month period only obviously starts once you draw each tranche. The second tranches will be drawn at various times next year.
And can you say anything about the timeline of the project as well as the estimated CAPEX?
With funding secured now, we'll look to mobilise at the end of this month and then move into construction next month. First gold to be poured end of Q2 2023. That will be followed by, as we then get into production, a ramp-up period of 6 months, which will allow us then to get to steady state of the 1 million tonnes per annum of the annualised throughput. $97.5 million is the construction cost for the plant and associated infrastructure, with an additional $10 million for pre-mining activities and $7.5 million for our contingencies.
And could you provide some details of the project build and contractors in place?
Yeah, thank you, Fran. The plant itself is a 1 million tonne per annum CIL plant. The key construction and engineering contracts have been awarded to Wacom and Sotex. So Sotex is a process design engineering company out of Quebec in Canada. And they specialise in design and engineering for particularly gold plants, and they have significant experience in West Africa. Wacom, our other partner, is looking after the construction, and they also have significant experience. They are based in Bamako in Mali. They have significant workshops and resources on the ground, steel, and all of the facilities that we need to do the pre-works before mobilising those constructed elements to the mine site. Wacom we have a long experience with. They formerly known as Imagri, and they were associated with the build at Yanfolila. Also part of our ongoing works is the negotiation for the mining contract. We have been to quite a number of tenderers in the first round of bids, and we are now finalising that process and will be looking to award a mining contract in the near future. We've made all of the key hires for the project team, and some of those have already mobilised to site, and the remaining will mobilise at the end of this month. We've also been busy on a security upgrade, both in terms of our corporate overlay and also what's on the ground in terms of facilities and personnel. Our ESG, we have also done a review on our formally submitted ESIA. Now, this wasn't required. However, we thought it was prudent to further update this on the works that are being undertaken. We are embedding industry-leading practices within that process, and that includes low-carbon technology, looking at a 7-megawatt solar plant, and also what is called heat capture and regeneration technology. As part of being a good corporate citizen, our engagement with the community and making sure that the local community content for hiring and local contractors is firmly embedded in all of our contracts that we're awarding, and is at the forefront of our mind when we are looking for any hires who are coming on board for the project.
As I understand it, there's also an infill drilling program in place focused on converting resources to reserves. Could you give us any more details on this?
The plan is to release maiden reserves for the Kouroussa project during this quarter, and that will be the result of some of the infill program that we've done so far this year, with the remainder coming out in the company's group-wide reserve and resource update later next year. So the first maiden reserves will be part of the infill drill program that has been focused on one of the two main pits at Kouroussa, which is called KK. The two pits are called KK and Kocken. As I said earlier, we've done 16,000 meters of a 24,000 meter drill program already this year, and that data is being collated. What I can say is that I'm not expecting any nasty surprises. There's actually a lot of very encouraging visible gold being seen in the core, and all the drilling is coming in as we would hope. So that's all in line with the reason why I bought the project. We think there's a tremendous gold endowment in the region. I think those reserves will then form the base case for obviously the mine plan and the economics and everything that we're doing. But the second part of the exploration drilling program is exploration. And we've been doing a lot of work collating the database that we inherited when we bought the project, putting together our exploration plans to increase the resource base from that initial 1.2 million ounces. And obviously that will provide news flow as we go through construction and onwards.
Great. And are there any final things you'd like to highlight?
I just want to really highlight the fact that we really have a very experienced team on board, and there is a significant depth of knowledge, experience with construction, recent construction within the area. So we're standing in very good stead with the team that we have on board.
Yeah, and from my side, Fran, I know this has been a long interview, but just a couple of points I'd like to bring up. I mean, firstly, there hasn't been much news flow from Hummingbird in the last couple of months because we've been busy doing the work, but I think now we'll see an increase in news flow as we develop the project with construction, with exploration, and with reserves. I'd also just like to go back to one of Anthony's points about the ESG thinking on the project. We hope that we can prove economic solutions in building a mine that's fit for the future, and hopefully there'll be more news on those developments like solar plants and all the rest of it as we go forward with construction. That's it from me, Fran. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Thank you, guys. Thank you both so much.